And as I continued to address Mr. Parisian, he just sat there and looked at me. The rest of the council just sat there and looked at me. But I thought it was vital that I present the evidence that I had received, that I saw no grounds for Mr. Paul McEvers being removed from office. And I told him, the same thing you have done to Mr. Sangador, illegally removing him from office and not giving him due process, now you're doing it to Paul McEvers. And as I continued to tell him this, my Constitution was laying in front of me. And I held up the Blackfeet Constitution and I showed it to them. I said, this is the only book that I have to govern myself by. This is the only thing I have that allows me to make my decisions on behalf of the tribe. This and the plan of operation. I said, but since day one, I have not seen the other council utilize this. I don't even know if they could quote or know what's in the Constitution without the help of those corrupt lawyers that we have working for the Blackfeet Nation. I said those corrupt lawyers are there constantly feeding and speaking into their ear, not letting them decide. It wasn't the lawyers that were elected to office, it was those individuals that were elected. But they continued to rely upon those lawyers to give them advice. And that advice is destroying the Blackfeet Nation. So when I held my Constitution up, I automatically tore it in half. And I threw it on the ground in front of me, on the floor in front of me. And without thinking, I took the other remainder half and I began to tear it and shred it in pieces. And I threw it up in the air. And as the pieces came down, they hit the ground. I told Mr. Parisian, you see that pile of trash laying in front of me? That's what you have done. You and the rest of the BIA and the Department of Interior, by empowering these 5 corrupt council. You may not have told them yes, but you're sure not telling them no. So they're firing people every day. They're intimidating people every day. They're putting restrictions upon our constitutional rights and our rights as individual, civil rights as individuals. And they're bringing that harm to our people every single day. And I'm just one of hundreds of stories that are being told on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation today of all the corruption, of all the hurt, the firing, the pain, the division. They have caused the division. They lie in the papers. The Glacier Reporter is a one-sided paper. They lie in that paper. The Glacier Reporter never comes to the other side, but they print every filthy lie that they have. And they continue to go with those lies and talk about how they want to work with us. That's a bunch of baloney. They have never once tried to come and work with us. They have never tried once to come and sit down and be civil. All they do is behind closed doors and through executive order. There is no such thing in the Constitution or the plan of operation that says there is under these conditions the chairman receives all this ultimate power. There is no such thing. And he has done that over and over by taking a word in the plan of operation that talks about the definition of an emergency. And that when you read it, it's talking about fires, floods, snowstorm. It's not talking about the chairman becomes king. And that's what he has become. He likes to be called King Willie. So that's what he's doing. And he's got all his cohorts coming around there, intimidating people, ready to chop their heads off if they say anything, do anything. And that's the corruption that the BIA is held responsible from this day forth. They're responsible for that. The Department of Interior is responsible. If they do not get to the Blackfeet Indian Reservation and intervene and stop this corruption,